T.I. is in the house. His new album is called Paper Trail. It hits stores tomorrow, all right? A lot of big things going on with you. So, yeah.
I love you too. I love you too. Thank you.
Your birthday was last week.
Yeah, September 25th.
How did you celebrate? Anything special? Or?
Man, we did a lot of things. We had a big weekend in Atlanta. You know, we got suited and booted, man, on Saturday. We had a big brunch on Sunday. Did another big party last night. We did a skate party for the kids Saturday. We did a lot of things. I mainly mostly worked all through.
But they said you had the Untouchables theme going on. You was keeping it gangster, right?
Yeah. You know, I had my Sugar Ray from Harlem Nights look going, you know.
Did you get Drama in a suit? Can Drama wear suits?
I think Drama had on a very nice blazer. I don't know exactly if he did the tie thing, but
how is it to be with your whole fam and be able to go out in the city where you from, though?
I mean, you know, it's always a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be able to celebrate another year of life and another year of success. So, you know, I'm loving it.
And speaking of success, before we talk about the album, you got so many other things popping. StreetCred.com is doing very well.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for everybody who's joined StreetCred.com.
My block set up.
I appreciate that. It is a movement. If you are not a part of the StreetCred.com movement, man, please feel free to log on and holler at me. I'll be there.
Gotcha. And you got the clothing line coming out around Christmas holiday time, right?
Cool. November. Actually, I see you got some on too.
I'm pretty sharp right now, man.
I couldn't have did that better myself.
Pretty sharp, baby.
Yeah.
Tell them about the line though, because it got a lot of different hot pieces.
Yeah, it's called The King of Oneself, man, and we gonna specialize everything from everyday casual wear like so to, you know, the knit sweaters and wovens and everything you can imagine TIM, man, you know, you gonna see in the cool.
No doubt. And I've been seeing you in the Respect My Vote t-shirts a lot. Yeah. How's the whole campaigning thing going for you being out there?
I mean, we're being received very well, man. We're still out to you know, to encourage the masses to get out there, man, and fulfill their obligation to themselves, to their community, to their family, to be registered to vote so they can become a part of that decision-making process, because it's a lot of things that go on over our head, and in order for us to be involved, we have to be voting.
No doubt. $6 billion bailout right now? Why don't you just give it back to the people? See, I got
it. You say $6 billion?
$6 billion.
Try 700 billion.
Yeah, 700 billion. You're right. 700 billion. Yeah. It's crazy. What do you think about all the stuff that's going on in Washington right now?
I mean, man, I feel like that this country is in a very detrimental state right now, and in order for us to push this country forward, we have to do what we can, man, to elect the proper people to put in office, man, in order to take care of our needs, you know.
He said it right. Give it up for him one more time, because that's such an important part. When I think about $6 billion, that's what I wish I had. But yeah, the 700 billion is crazy. All right, so I've seen you on the cover of Giant Magazine, and you talked about some look at him. He's fresh to death. For the ladies, what's one thing that you talked about in the article that people might not know about you?
I mean, man, we talked about a few things, man. It was a very elaborate interview, man. I say probably a lot about my fashion, a lot about how I spent my time while I was going through my situation, you know, while I wasn't able to come out. We talked about a lot of things. We touched on a lot of different things.
And you addressed a lot of that on the album Paper Trail, which is out right now. You got a lot of singles. Out of all the singles that are playing right now, what's your favorite one?
I mean, I like what they like, so I guess whatever you like.
Whatever you like?
You know.
All right. So before we talk about the new record right here, we're going to take it back and do a paper trail of some of your past projects right now. Okay. So we're going to start off with your first album, I'm Serious. How many of y'all got I'm Serious? Y'all remember them back in the beginning?
Thank you.
What do you remember about signing that paper for your first record deal?
Signing my first deal. I remember sitting in the office with L.A. Reid and KP, and I remember L.A. saying, okay, yeah, we going to do it. And I remember thinking, oh, man, this shit, I'm out the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm out the hood. We gonna go platinum. It's on.
I hear that.
And I was sadly mistaken.
It was a lot more than you bargained for?
It was a lot more. You know, it was a lot that I didn't take into account. I never really planned on being famous. You know what I'm saying? It was always a ambitious aspiration, but I never really planned on being famous and all the things that came with being famous. You know.
What do you think's the biggest lesson you learned from that album?
The biggest lesson I learned from that album is to always follow your first mind. You know what I'm saying? Like my first single, I wanted my first single to be Dope Boys.
Yeah.
And everybody said, Dope Boys, that'll never play on the radio. They'll never play that record. So that's when we went to the single with Beanie Man, I'm Serious. Well, Dope Boys ended up being the biggest record off of that album. So
sometimes you just gotta tell the label what to do. Sometimes.
Yeah, you got, you can't always. You can't.
Look at guys over here in the back talking about.
You can't always go for the mainstream radio look. Sometimes you gotta let mainstream and radio come to you.
You gotta follow your heart. All right, we're gonna jump into album Trap Music, another hot album right there.
Yeah.
What do you think was the hottest rhyme you wrote down on paper for that album? Was you writing rhymes at the time, or it was over your head?
I wasn't writing rhymes on paper for this album. That's when I actually started coming from the head, man. I ain't wrote nothing down since I'm serious, with the exception of a couple of songs from Urban Legend, but that was because I was locked up at the time. But
now explain how, because I've always wanted to ask Jay-Z that, and I've never been able to ask people that can do that. How do you do that? So right now, do you have an entire song, or do you listen to a beat first and then the song starts coming? How does that work?
Well, I mean, as you go throughout your day, man, different things that you experience, different things that you encounter, they provide inspiration. And so you might have lines, or you might have metaphors, you might have different rhymes or whatnot in your head. Then when the beat play, you just think of all the things that you've been thinking about all day or the days before, and you just you put them together. And when you step into the booth, man, that's when the magic happens.
Got you. That's an amazing process. I can't even remember my girlfriend's birthday. I don't even know what's going on. T.I. can remember a whole song at a time. We're going to talk more about his incredible talent and his album, Paper Trail, which is an incredible album. Right after this number 2 joint, here's Young Jeezy. I need a vacation.
Happy birthday, Jeez.
Jeezy celebrating his birthday, man. Everybody's a September baby, man.
Yeah, we got Ludacris, you got me, you got Jeezy, you got Wayne.
It's crazy. The Libras are in the building. Big ups to all the Libras out there celebrating their birthday. Fred Witt, I see you. All right, so we got T.I. in the building. His album is called Paper Trail. So what we're doing is going through a paper trail of his career, one album at a time. We're into Urban Legend right now.
Okay.
Now, this is when you probably really started making some paper. Do you remember, like, the first big thing you bought when you really started having some dough in your pocket?
Yeah, a house.
The house was the first one?
Yeah, a house. I think I bought my Phantom. Well, during the Urban Legend.
For the young rappers out there that think it's more important to buy jewelry or the car first, how important is it to buy that house first?
Well, no, it's very important, man. If you ain't got nowhere to park that car or to hold them clothes, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a house is probably the most valuable asset you can have.
I hear that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going into the next album, King. This is when everybody who wasn't sold yet, this is when the entire world became sold. What was your favorite part of doing this King album and having the movie out at the same time?
I have to say that was my favorite part about it, man. Doing the movie and the album at the same time. I recorded this entire album while I was, filming ATL. So it was just an experience, even just thinking back on, when I made Why You Wanna, I had been on set 12 hours. When I made What You Know About That, I had been on set all day, coming from whether it was skate practice or whether it was filming. We was just going hard. It was a whole lot of work, but we had a lot of fun too.
You have an interesting analogy about having that skate practice. Can you tell all the young kids out there that are doing bad in school your analogy about skate practice?
I mean, I just tell them real talk, man. I didn't want to skate. T.I. didn't. That wasn't on my list of things to do for that year. But if I hadn't, done what was necessary for me to do what I wanted to do, for me to do what I had to do in order to make a way for me to do later what I wanted to do, then there never would have been a movie ATL. And if there never was for a movie ATL, there never would have been an American Gangster. At least I wouldn't have been in it. Denzel would have been straight. But,
exactly.
So sometimes you can't focus on what you want to do all the time. You got to do what you got to do in order to make a way for what you want to do later.
Yup. So if you don't like math class, too bad. You better keep on doing them parabolas and them equations so that you can do what you want to do down the line.
Right.
T.I. versus T.I.P. Very interesting album for you. Did you? Was that more of a record, or was you really battling within yourself with your two different sides?
Yeah, it was definitely a battle. It was a battle for even for me just to make it up in my mind, decide that I wanted to come back and do music. You know what I'm saying? After Falant had died, I was kind of done with the game, and it was a struggle, a struggle of emotions, you know what I'm saying, even for me to decide to come back and to consider doing an album so soon.
Has he talked to you since?
Sure, all the time.
Is there any advice that he gave you?
He told me if I quit, he'll kill me.
I I hear that. So he continues on, and he's back with another hot record. It's called Paper Trail. We got to talk about this album.
Hey, wait a minute. Speaking of Paper Trail,
Where we going? Where we doing?
I gotta give you a little rag swag.
All right.
You know
okay. I don't dance. Oh, let me see the rag. Sorry,
yeah,
I get
man,
excited.
You gotta check that out.
All right. Paper Trail, the rag is intact. We got more with T.I.
Yeah.
We're going to have you swinging your rag as soon as we get back. It's 106 & Park. T.I.P is in the building. No one on the corner got swagger like us. You're back. It's 106 & Park. I'm Terrence. This is T.I. And Paper Trail is what you need to be up on. It hits stores tomorrow. You got to go cop this joint. Be very clear. Where did the title Paper Trail come from?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, man, you know, like around trap music, Urban Legend King and whatnot, like I was really coming with songs off the top. So, you know, I wasn't writing things down. And this album is the first album since I'm serious that I actually inked pen to paper.
What's your tone on this album? How's the whole overall album? What's the tone if you had to put it in one word?
I think it's introspective. I think it has high moments and it has calm moments. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely highlights or should I say documents my life and what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? My ups, my downs. You get a lot of questions answered that people might be wondering about how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. You know, I think it's a little more intellectual than, you know, some of my past pieces of work.
He talks about it all. Usher's on this record. Swizzy is on this record. Rihanna's on this record. Ludacris, M.B.O.B. Any other collabos that stick out in your mind, or how much fun was it working with all these people?
Man, it was an extreme honor to be, you know, among such elite entertainers, man. Like you say, like John Legend, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, Kanye, Lil Wayne on one record.
That
you know.
That in itself is crazy.
Hey man, all y'all, man, I appreciate it, man. Big homie Jay-Z, Lil Weezy, Kanye, what's happening? I appreciate it.
Yo, once again, man, and please be very clear. A lot of times when the camera's off, you have certain artists that don't say anything to the audience. This dude has been signing autographs all day long, speaking to everybody in the live audience, and I appreciate
you know,
that.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. They put me here. You know, I appreciate that.
But dude, you go above and beyond. Make sure y'all go above and beyond and cop this record right here. Paper Trail. It's in stores tomorrow.
Along with Big Country King, My Turn to Eat.
Big Country King joint drops as well. And Jennifer Hudson record drops as well. So big ups to Jay Hud for stopping by. You got 3 albums you need to pick up in the stores tomorrow. DJ L, we appreciate you, boy. Thanks for stopping by. And of course, we got to leave you with the #1 joint in the world. Here's T-Pain featuring Lil Wayne. Can't believe it. Paper Trail tomorrow, baby.